Student friends, in yesterday's lecture, we studied about two methods of digital modulation in the conceptual form, along with the merits and demerits of amplitude modulation and frequency modulation. And today, we are going to deal with another type of digital modulation known as pulse code modulation. Student friends, whenever analog signal is going to be converted into the digital signal, in most of the cases, the samples of the analog signals are taken at the different interval of times. By taking these samples, then the modulation is going to be done. During the modulation, the characteristics of standard pulse is changed. Means in this case, two aspects are existing. One is the sample of the analog signal is to be taken for the conversion of analog signal into digital signal, and once we obtain the digital signal, then the characteristics of standard pulse are changed, and this is a general technique to undergo the digital communication. But in case of pulse code modulation, there is no doubt that sample of the analog signal to be transmitted is taken, and then the characteristics of the standard pulse is not only changed, but they are rounded off to the nearest value, and this is the additional aspect that is used in pulse code modulation. That means the sampled signal is rounded off to the nearest value, and then the characteristics of standard pulse are varied, and that is known as pulse code modulation. And then they are coded into the digital format. If these techniques are used during the modulation, then that type of modulation we can call it as it is the pulse code modulation. To study details about the pulse code modulation, here is the analog signal that is represented, corresponding to the signal which are sampled at the different instant of time. So the time may be T0, T1, T2, T3, T4, T5 and so on. At the respective instant of time, the sample of the analog signal is taken, and if it is in the form alternating varying, then if necessary, DC level is introduced in it, and it is clamped to the one of the side of to adapt the particular level, and then the samples are to be taken. In this case, DC level is already introduced in the AC signal, that is signal is clamped to the positive side, and then at the different interval of time T0, T1, T2, T3, its samples are to be taken. By taking the samples, those are rounded off, and then their coding is to be done. coding is to be done depends upon the number of the bits which require. If we use 3-bit code, then the coding will be done from 000 to 111. If it is 4-bit code, then same coding is to be done from 0000 to 1111. So this process of coding technique, after being the signal is sampled, is known as pulse code modulation. Obviously, it is going to be rounded off to the nearest value. The process of rounding off the signal to the nearest value is called as the quantization. And the different levels which are achieved, those are known as level of quantization. And if these levels are equally placed, then that quantization is known as uniform quantization. So all these aspects are to be utilized in pulse code modulation concept. So that's why we can say, generally, sampled signal is transmitted by varying the characteristics of standard pulse. This is the general technique of transmission. But in pulse code modulation, sampled signal is rounded off to its nearest value. And this process of rounding off the sampled signal to the nearest value is known as quantization. And the possible levels are to be treated as the quantizing level. If levels are equally spaced, then these are uniform quantized levels. So friends, the signal to be transmitted is first sampled, and then it is given to the quantizer for the rounding off. Then they are coded into the binary groups. Then 3 steps are involved. First, samples are to be taken. If the signal is varying in positive and negative half cycle, it is clamped to the one side. Then they are rounded off, and after rounding off, they are coded into binary group, that is in the form of 0 and 1. So that is 1 for on-state signal and 0 for off-state signal. Each pulse group is quantized level of binary number. The maximum number of pulse in a group depends on quantization level. Depends upon number of bits we have used. So that decides the quantization level. If 4-bit, 16 levels are existing. If for 3-bit, 8 quantizing levels are going to be existing. N-bit code has a 2n quantizing levels. For 3-bit, 2 raised to 3 levels. For 4-bit, 2 raised to 4 levels. Actual signal has positive and negative levels. So this is what it is to be adapted. This can be improved by adding DC variable bias, so that bias to the signal so that it remains in only on positive side. Adding DC level means we are clamping the signal to the one side. Other problem is variation in the amplitude of the speech requires large number of quantizing levels. If the speech signal is there, the variation in the speech signal is very fast, because that way number of levels required will be more. Means the number of bit required will be more. This problem is solved by amplitude compressor circuit to reduce the large peaks quantizing levels for given accuracy and reduces the channel bandwidth. In receiver, expander brings the compressed signal back to the original form. Means in the transmitter, to reduce the bandwidth, to increase the accuracy, to reduce the quantizing amplitude levels, the signal is compressed. Whereas in case of receiver, the compressed signal is expanded by means of an expander. So this figure indicates the aspect of the coding or sampling. In this case, it is 3 bits signals are used, and that's why 8 possible levels are achieved. So that is from 0 to 7. So these are the quantizing levels. These are encoded output. So samples are taken at the different interval of time. This is a for T0, for T1, for T2, for T3, and so on. And then their corresponding pulses are going to be gets formulated. So this is for this particular sample, 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 for the instant of time, and for that respective level, levels of the codes are existing. This is for 100, this is for locate 111, this is for 110, and this is for 001. For every, if suppose the sampled signal is not going to lie in that respective level, it is rounded off to that particular level, and again the particular level of the digital code is to be brought for the purpose of transmission. So this is the aspect of rounding off the signal. The signal is biased by DC voltage so that it does not becomes negative. Means the signal is clamped. The signal is sampled at a fixed instant of time, say T0 to T5, and the signal input at these instants are converted into binary. Suppose at T0 sample amplitude is 1, equalizing the level of 4-bit code, that is 0001. For 3-bit code it is 001. Let us say another sample is taken for time in instant T2, the signal amplitude is 10, then it is 1010. 10 means it is, try to remember, 10. For 4-bit code it is 1010. These are transmitted during the sampling interval for the channel. Narrow pulse widths are used, resulting increasing bandwidth. If positive and negative pulses are employed for 1 and 0, ternary pulse code modulation train is produced. Thus, pulse code modulation trans-receiver system includes the low pass filter, sampler, quantizer, and encoder. So this block represents the transmitter with the help of pulse code modulation technique, whereas this block diagram represents the receiver that receives the signal transmitted by pulse code modulated transmitter. Thus we can say the pulse code modulation transmitter includes the low pass filter, to which the analog signal to be transmitted is given, it is filtered, and its samples are taken for the different interval of time, obviously by clamping that particular analog signal to the positive side. After taking the samples at a different interval of time, say T0, so on, it will be rounded off by using the quantizer. Means it is rounded to the nearest value so as to get rounded off analog signal. This quantized analog signal is given to the encoder, where encoding of that particular respective level is being done, as we have studied in this case. Suppose for T0 time amplitude level is 1, means the after sampling its analog level becomes to be equal to 1, then it is encoded in the form of 0001. So this encoded signal is given as a pulse code modulated output. It is the code corresponds to that particular pulse. Then it is transmitted. This transmitted signal is received at the receiver. So input for the receiver is pulse code modulated input. This output is given as an input to the receiver. As pulse code modulated is a coded signal, it is a decoded. Means it is converted into level corresponds to that particular code. Then it is given to the expander. As in case of transmitter, signal is compressed to adjust its bandwidth. Here, to bring back that signal to the original form, it is expanded. And after that, it is given to the low pass filter, from which again we can get the analog signal back at the output. So this is what we can call it as how pulse code modulated transmitter and receiver is represented. The pulse code modulated transceiver system includes low pass filter with cutoff frequency half of the sampling rate frequency. Means the cutoff frequency of low pass filter is half the rate of sampling. Then sampler, quantizer and encoder to get pulse code modulated pulse type. At the receiver, pulses are decoded and converted into analog signal. Higher frequency pulses are attenuated by low pass filter. Means only lower frequencies are passed, higher frequency signals are attenuated. The bandwidth of pulse code modulation depends on highest frequency in the analog signal. It is true almost all the digital modulation techniques. Same is true for ASK and same is true for FSK also. And also bandwidth depends upon number of beats in pulse code modulated signal. Suppose for 32 kHz signal, sampling rate is 8 kHz, and for system of 128 quantizing levels. For 128 quantizing levels, the number of beats required is 7. So as beats required will be 7, the quantizing levels will be 2 raised to 7, and that is equal to 128 quantizing levels are possible. Final pulse code modulated signal have 7 into 8, and that is equal to 56 kilobits per second. This signal is with the frequency of 32 kHz. Sampling rate of sampler is 8 kHz. For a system of 128 quantizing levels, the number of the bits required will be 7. For 7-bit code, 2 raised to 7, that is 120 quantizing levels are possible, and with that particular quantizing level, that is 8, means the sampling rate is 8 and quantizing bit required are 7, so 7 into 8, that becomes equal to 56 kilobits per second. So with this particular rate, pulse code modulated output is going to be gets produced. So student friends, this is the all about pulse code modulation technique is one of the digital technique that is used to rounding after rounding of the signal to the nearest value as far as after signal is being sampled and then it is converted into the coded pulse. That's all about the pulse code modulation. One more simple modulation, digital modulation technique we are going to study, and that is what we can call it as, it is the pulse width modulation. It is again very simple technique. Pulse width modulation means width modulation, width of the pulse is changed in accordance with that of amplitude of the instantaneous amplitude of the signal to be modulated. Means as the instantaneous amplitude of the signal to be modulated is changed, accordingly the width of binary data, width of pulse is changed. How width is possible for us to change? Width is possible for us to change either by changing the trailing edge or by changing the leading edge or by changing the both. One can change the width of that particular pulse. If this technique is adopted, then that type of the digital modulation we can call it as it is a pulse width modulation. Pulse width modulation is also called as a pulse duration modulation or pulse length modulation. Friends, you are aware with the pulse. Try to visualize pulse in front of you. And you have studied in last year, especially in digital electronics. The pulse has positive leading edge, negative trailing edge. In between positive and negative edge, the amplitude of that particular pulse will remain constant. Such a type of the signal, we can call it as it is a pulse type of the signal. As width of the pulse is changed, it is called as a pulse width modulation. The time of that particular pulse is changed, that's why it is called as a pulse duration modulation. And the length of pulse is also changed, so that's why it is called as a pulse length modulation. Here, leading edge, trailing edge or both are varied as a function of amplitude of the sampled signal with the care that pulse do not overlap. It requires large average power and bandwidth. For suppose K signal to be multiplexed and FM is the highest modulating frequency of the signal, the maximum permissible pulse width without overlapping is delta T, that's equal to K into FM upon 2 seconds. With sine wave signal of amplitude EM, pulse width will vary as delta T into bracket 1 plus EM sine of omega mt, and the modulated train or modulated output is EO of T is equal to sine of n into omega into delta T upon 2 into 1 plus EM sine of omega mt into cos of n omega t. Such a pulse width modulation system consists of a multivibrator, integrator, adder, clipper and the Schmitt trigger. Look at here. The signal to be modulated is an analog signal. It is given to the adder. This signal plus another signal is from the output of the integrator. We are aware that integrator is a circuit that converts square wave into the triangular wave, and those square waves are generated by the multivibrator. So output of the multivibrator is given as an input to the integrator. This produces the triangular wave. These triangular waves are added along with the signal to be modulated. So here the modulation that takes place, and then it is given to the clipper. Clipper puts the limit on the amplitude of the output signal. It is given to the Schmitt trigger, and we are aware that the role of Schmitt trigger is it produces the square wave, but width of square wave is going to depends upon the output of the integrator and also the signal to be transmitted. Accordingly, clipper generates the clipped signal, and at the cost of that particular clipped output, Schmitt trigger produces the corresponding pulse width, either with the increased trailing edge, increased leading edge, decreased trailing edge, so that width is going to be vary as the amplitude of the input signal that changes. This type of modulation we can call it as it is the pulse width type of modulation. Dear students, these are another two techniques which are used as the digital modulation techniques. Till two techniques, digital modulation techniques are to be studied, which we will study in the next time.